everybody. Hello, my dear patrons. Good day, good morning, good evening. I'm really happy to see you all here. That is really great that we could meet so soon after last free guitar lesson. Today, of course, we will continue the topic of Barre, but if last Sunday there was a lot of theoretical information, today I would like to give you as much practical things and background as possible. So get ready to a huge mountain of exercises and practical things. I hope very much that you sit cozy, and for sure that wouldn't be a bad idea if you could hold your guitar somewhere not far away if you want to try something, because you know that listening and knowing something, it's actually not the same as doing that. So because of that, if you have possibility to check all the exercises I will show to you today right on the guitar, that would be the best thing. I greet everybody who is here in a live chat. Hi Dawn, hello Marek and Maria, that's very nice to see you. One short reminder for everybody who didn't know that or maybe forgot it. I am waiting for your comments and questions here in YouTube chat, because that is something that is open here on my smartphone, and then I can see your questions more or less quick and not just after our session will be over. So I hope I see that the number gets lower. I think everything is okay here with connection. Let's make a short check. If you can write me, that's maybe because I stopped the chat. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Does everything works fine so far? Yes, that's good, because I missed the comments. Now they are here. Great. That's fine. So I just don't need to press on the stop button. So easy it is. So let's start. As I said, we have today huge plan for our work. So we are talking about Barre and about how make it works and how to make it easier and sounding more perfect. If we're talking about Barre, very important thing to keep in mind is what does their success by playing Barre consist of? I would like to start with some essentials that are really important to keep in mind, what you need to work on if you want to have a perfect Barre. The first thing is for sure the strength. So we need to strengthen our fingers of the left hand so we are able to hold the bar good, but not only that, so we're able also to work properly with the other fingers, because that is actually the biggest difficulty, yeah? Not only to hold the bar, but be able to play something else. So first thing, we need to strengthen our fingers. Secondly, we need to develop independence in our fingers. So when we hold the bar, all other fingers can work independent and we don't lose power in our index finger. Second thing. Third thing is for sure stretching. That is something that you maybe didn't think about, but it plays a big role in the quality of the Barre. Why? Just a very easy question. When we need to play Barre here in the second position and we need to play any note with the third finger or with the second one, very often the quality of these notes are not so nice. And one of the reasons could be that we are not able to put our fingers very close to the fret. So it's the question of stretching between the fingers. Third point. Fourth point, also very important, endurance. How long we are able to hold the bar, how long we are able just to keep on going. So that are the most important things we need to work on if we want to develop a perfect bar. It's a big mistake to think that if I want to have a perfect bar technique, I practice only bar exercises. Big mistake. For sure, if you will do bar exercises, you will be better than if you wouldn't do them, but you will not succeed as much as if you will work on strength, independence, and endurance, and stretching. All this package gives a perfect result. How to work on all these points, I will show you right now. So the first point, the strength of the finger. We start with it, and I will show you today. Actually, when I made the preparations for today's masterclass, I noted that the topic is actually so complex and it's so big, and there are so many wonderful and important and very useful exercises. So I just cannot put everything in just one masterclass. So I just took some of exercises. Some of them will be for beginner player, so if you're not so much advanced, and some of them will be also for anybody who is a bit more advanced and would like to do more difficult exercises. But for sure, in some time, maybe in several months, we will come back, because as I said, there are just too many things to show and to talk about. So we are back to strengthen. There are several exercises that could help you to strengthen your fingers. Just a few examples. I think one of the most effective exercises to making your fingers strong are slurs, hammer-ons, and pull-offs. If we want to do it, if you're just a beginner, or if you want to do it in an easier way, just if you want to do it during your warm-up time, the exercise I like a lot looks in that way. We will just I think you can see it like that. That is fine. We start on the 5th fret on the high E string, and we take one couple, 1 and 2, and we will start with hammer-ons. It looks like. It's just one turn. When we work on hammer-ons, what we need to keep in mind is that your hammered on note should have more or less the same volume as the first one. So we take care that we hammer really good, and you send a strong impulse to the finger. Otherwise, this exercise will not have such a good effect. So you can do it several times in a row, going up and down in different directions. When you are ready, you take 2 and 3 and do it with next pair. Then 3, 4. Because I just wanted to save a bit time. When you start to work on this exercise, please do it very slow, and be sure that you can control each motion perfectly, and each sound is the best you can achieve. This exercise you see a lot in my practicing sessions when I warm up myself. It's just like a basic, but it helps really a lot to strengthen your fingers, that we will need also for bar. After hammer-ons, we do the same with pull-offs. have the same volume as the first one. So the quality stays always on the absolutely first place when we talk about exercises. First place, quality. Second place, quality. Third place, quality. Fourth place, speed. Or even later. So that are just like basics for the slurs. Another exercise that works also very nice, just a bit more advanced. You also know it from my practicing sessions. We go to the first position. We take the same couple 1 and 2. And we start on the first string with 1, 2, 1. So we make first a hammer on and then pull off. So we have 3 notes. 1, 2, 1. Then you go with the second finger on the B string and you start with pull off. 2, 1, 2. Then we go on the third string, once again with the first finger. 1, 2, 1. D string. 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2. We go back. 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1. When you're ready, we take the second couple, the second pair, 2 and 3. We start with the second finger. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. And so on. Then you go back. Then, of course, we have 3 and 4, 1 and 4, 2 and 4, 1 and 3. They are all the couples we can do. I like to combine it and do it not only in the first position, but I move. It looks like that. When you arrive on 6th string, I move. Then I keep on going with the next pair and move again. So in this way, I work myself through the whole fretboard so I can practice different distances, different stretchings. I can practice different power because here the strings are higher, so it will be a bit more different to play hammer on or pull off, and it's a very nice way to exercise your hand. Belongs also to the basics. If you want to have something different, if you already know these exercises, now we go to the scores or to the pages that I have prepared for you on Google Drive. So if you didn't download it yet, if you didn't open it, that would be great if you will do it right now so you can follow me. The link you have in my Patreon post to the Google Drive, and what we will need right now is the exercise from the Keppel book, page 144. I have the German version, so please don't be surprised. There is some German text. Of course, there is... I see that we deleted actually. So you don't see any German text, but you see German notes. You have it in English version, of course. You can order it. It's actually, if somebody doesn't know this book yet, even because I tell 20 times each live stream how I love this book. It looks like that. Yeah, Keppel, Hubert Keppel, they are in English. It's the Bible of classical guitar technique. Great book. I can only recommend to you. So the exercise we need right now is page 144, and we will have there some more advanced slurs. For example, you see here also on the monitor, we just took few bars, few measures from this exercise. They are longer. The full version you can find in Google Drive. So let's take a look at the very first exercise, first A. The suggestion is here to start in the first position and we will combine hammer-ons and pull-offs. So take a look. We start very, very slow. And then we go back. I played it till the end. You cannot see the last measure, but it's actually not so important. We're just talking about the principle. When you will do this exercise, rule number 1, the quality and the volume of the second note is extremely important. So it should be as loud as possible. Second point, after you are ready with the first hammer-on, that would be great if you could already prepare your next finger to play the next note. So don't do like that. But always think about next finger to play and prepare it already at the end of your previous note. In this way you will avoid any breaks between slurs. Another important thing, you see, I keep my fingers always stretched, so I don't start like that. So 1, 2, and then move, and 1, 2, and move. I try to keep all of them from the very beginning about the right fret. It's important. So we practice not only the strengthening of the finger, we practice also stretching. That is very, very important for our bar. First kind, you can see under B, there is another variation of this exercise, and they are all very, very helpful. There is also another exercise that we will need right now, and we will open another picture. Number 10, slurs number 10. Do we have it? Could we have it, or did we miss it? Just a short look. We don't have it. Second, slurs, second page. No, capital, still capital, and second page should be second exercise. No, it's not there. No, not chromatic. Capital, slurs. Okay, it doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. You have it on your page. In a Google Drive, you can see it perfectly. There is also a combination of hammer-ons and slurs, and it goes in 3 rollen. We will have it. It looks like that. Also a bit more difficult because we have each time the string change with another finger, but also very, very useful exercise. Or if you're interested, take a look at the page that I put for you in Drive. We continue to go. Next exercise is to strengthen your fingers. Just before we continue, I check if there are any important question that I could miss or something like that. You're right, we only have 1 capital slurs deck in the Drive. That is right, that should be like that, and it's just number 10 now in the doc that you have in the slurs. Exercise number 10 was with these 3 notes at once. The next point, next exercise, chromatical exercises. Any kind of chromatical exercises help to build up the strength in your fingers of the left hand. If you're a beginner, the simple things like that would help you a lot. I wouldn't tell it so much about that because you can see it in any practicing live, I start with these grammatical things, and if you want to see them more concrete, more detailed, please check my Ask Tatyana video on YouTube about warm up first part. I describe there very, very detailed each exercise of it. If we talk now about more advanced exercises, then you would need now a next couple page, and it is chromatic, fourth finger, something like that, page 113. So you can open it. These were special effects. The perfect way would be to take now something to dry. Okay. That is something that I'm each time afraid of when I'm on stage and you want to drink, and you take the glass and you start to drink it, and you just think, please, 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 don't let it happen. Okay, thanks God we don't have a concert. Chromatic and fourth finger. When we talk about Barre, the most difficulties come from very weak fourth and third finger. I could also understand it on the basic of their questions that you sent to me. We will talk about them a bit later. So it's very important to develop your fourth and third finger. How you can do chromatic exercises, any kind of, very, very helpful. But here I just have chosen for you one special exercise that concentrates on the development on the fourth finger. So you can see the first measures of that. I just show you how it works. It's written to start here from the C, and it will be the first position. I would recommend you to do it in the 9th position. To start here and go slowly to the first fret, because in that way you can do in a very smooth way also the stretching of the hand. So to start right here could be a bit more difficult, especially if it's one of your first exercises when you take the guitar and you want to warm up yourself. It's better to start here in the 9th position. So we will try to do it. The A. And then you repeat it. One of the main rules is when you do it, try to keep as many fingers on the strings as possible. So don't do like that. Not good. We start with 1, we keep it on the string, then comes 4, we need to remove it, then comes 3, we keep it, and then comes 4 again. So everything what you can keep on the string, please keep it. Then you start to move, and you move again until your thumb arrived in the first position. Especially when you're working on grammatical exercises, things you need to take care of. Your fingers are absolutely close to the fret, as close as possible. As bigger the distance will be, as more precisely they need to be near the fret. It's also think about stretching, and of course we practice the curve of the fingers. So you need to put your finger each time in absolutely perfect way. So don't try to do it with the flat fingers or with the not perfect put fingers. It's very important. When we talk about exercises, it's not about how long you play, it's about how you play. So each single detail is extremely important, because you're working on your bass, you're working on an absolutely important things, and the way how you will do it in exercises, that will be transferred to the pieces. If you do it here, great. it will work in the pieces great. If you are here very sloppy, it will not work in the pieces and you will have a lot of troubles. So be very, very attentive there and very concentrated. These kind of exercises are very good for the left hand. Start slow and then speed it up and take here quality, and only then the tempo. Just one check of the questions. So, of course, if you have any questions during my explanation or anything is not really clear and you want to know exactly, please let me know and just write it here in the chat. We will continue right now. That was just the first part of strength of the fingers. Second block, important one, independence. I already said several times independence in the previous part, because independence is something that comes very often in different exercises. So we cannot isolate and say this exercise develops only strength and this one develops only endurance and this one, it doesn't work. Very often they are mixed, but one of these characteristics comes in the front and another one in the background. So when we talk about independence of the fingers, chromatic exercise is perfect, always very, very good, especially when you're a beginner, if you just start to play the guitar. If you're just a bit more advanced, what is good? Spider. And there are many, many different spiders. I think we can switch off this picture. We will need another one, but a bit later. When you talk about spider, I show you one spider that I do if I need and that I show to my students. We will start in the 9th position and we will have always pairs of two fingers, 1-3 and 2-4. We start with 1-3 on the first E string, 1-3. Then you go to 2-4. Then 1-3, 2-4, 1-3, 2-4. When you're here on the 6th string, we move 2-4, 1-3, 2-4, 1-3, 2-4, 1-3. Then you move again. You see, the main rule of this exercise, move always only one finger at once, no more than one. 1, 3, 2, 4, especially now, only first finger, only third, only second, only fourth, only first, only third, only second, only fourth. Very, very important, otherwise it will not work as fine. Second thing, all fingers are always should be put as close as possible to the frets, also when you're here. And of course, each time your fingers need to be curved perfectly. So especially when you will go down, you will notice if you don't put the 4th finger properly, we will have here problems on the 5th string and so on. Very good exercise for independence of the fingers and also for the strength of them. If you want to have another kind of spider, you can check their exercise also from the Keppel book. You have it in the drive and it should be something like Independence or page 114, spider. I think it's called spider, page 114. We have here just a very short part of it. It looks like that. And so on. The same rule we we can move only one finger at once. And also by this exercise I will recommend a lot to start it not here but in the ninth position. Here you have the biggest stretching, the hardest stretching, and also when you will keep the fingers all together could be hard for the muscles. So please start here and then work yourself toward the first fret. One important note is never start to warm you up with a spider. That could be sometimes dangerous and sometimes just not very nice to your muscles. So if you want to do spider, you need to be already pre-warmed up a bit. So at least 5 minutes, better 10 minutes before, that is good if your left hand is already working. And please never do spider when you have really cold hands, cold fingers. You will not do the good thing for your muscles. If you do this exercise, if you notice that your left hand is very stiff, make a break. Even if you still have few parts to go, make a break, relax, shake it a bit, and then continue. So be careful with this exercise and your left hand. The next point about independence warm-up. All these grammatical exercises are very, very useful for independence of the fingers. Once again, check my warm-up video by Ask Tatyana and my practicing session. There are a lot of them. The next exercise I would like to show you right now, there is no picture for that, and it's about the very how should I call it, the very common exercise for independence. We put our 3 fingers on the 3rd G string. We start with the 2nd, 3rd and 4th finger, and we are now in the 5th position. So 5th position, 3rd string, 2nd, 3rd, 4th finger will stay on the G string. They're just there, you don't need to press a lot, just keep them there. Our first finger started to jump. 4th, 2nd string, or D, B string, A string, E string, A string, E string, D string, B, D, B, A, E, A, E. Now we change. Now we make the 2nd finger free. 1, 3, 4, stay on the strings. And we start to jump with the 2nd finger. 2, several times. Then the 3rd finger. And 4th finger. When you do this exercise, take care that you put your finger in a perfect curved way. Doesn't matter which string do you play right now. So you don't, sometimes it will be also even not really possible to put it very flat, but nevertheless, take care about that. Then after that, we can and should and need to work in pairs. So we put now 2nd and 4th finger on the G string, and we start to jump simultaneous with both fingers, with the 1st and 3rd. So first we take D string and B string, and we play them both. Sounds very nice, yeah? And then we go on the 5th and 1st string, A and E. Now, if you like, you can switch now and do it with the 2nd and 4th finger. Of course, other couples are possible, 2 and 3. It will be a bit more hard. The same 1 and 4. can see, I take my wrist and I take my arm. So be free to move, to turn it a bit. It's not necessary always to keep the whole hand, the whole arm stiff, and you are allowed to move it, and you even need to do it. Also later in the pieces, when you will have very similar motions, take care that you use the whole arm, because it makes the thing much easier and it's more friendly to your muscles. So this exercise would be a bit more difficult, but they are very helpful if you want to develop independence of the fingers. Of course, you can do it also here at other positions, at the eighth position and the first position, but the same warning: never start with this exercise. Do it later, not in the very beginning. 10 minutes at least you need to play any easier things, because otherwise your hand will be absolutely stiff and it will not be very positive. So if there are any questions, I cannot see either my chat is hanging or I just saw the last one at 18:22. No? Okay, that's fine. So if there are no questions, then we continue going. The next point, so we talked about strength, we talked about independence, we go to endurance. Endurance, how to develop that? One of the first exercises, slurs. Again, slurs. But not the simple like this. Okay, if you just a beginner and you started to work with third and fourth finger, doing twice or 3 times this turn will already develop your endurance for sure. But if you are a bit more advanced player, you will not notice anything doing that. So what can we do? We just make the slurs longer. We take the hammer-on and pull-off, combine them, and we make much more turns than one. For example, 1. I take 1 and 2 and do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many repetitions you will have? It's up to you. As longer you will repeat them, as more difficult it will be for the hand. And of course, we go through all the couples, all the pairs: 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, everything what you just can imagine. About the tempo, better to start slow and take care again about the quality. So your hammer on and pull off should in ideal way have the same volume. Don't do or. That's not good quality. Take care, they should be all the same. That is the goal of this exercise. Of course, you can do it through all positions. Very helpful. All strings, perfect. By the way, if you want to see these exercises by Keppel, if you have this book, one of the examples is, we don't have it here, but it's just for you, Keppel 140. I'm not sure right now if I have downloaded in the drive, maybe no, but it was just like a tip behind the scenes for everybody who has the book. If you don't have this book, you can do what I showed you right now. It's actually the same. Okay, the next thing that might be not so offensive. When we talk about endurance, one of the greatest exercises I think there is are octaves. If you play scales or any studies in octaves, one example I have for you. If you will open their file with the name Fernando Sor, and it's his study number 10 from Opus 6, Moderato. You see again just the very beginning of this study. Interesting thing, it is an exercise, it is a study. If you will be able to play it through for the first time, big respect. I couldn't. When I worked on this exercise, I couldn't do it in the first time. I just stopped somewhere on the second page and my hand couldn't do anymore. That is about endurance, and it's really a hardcore exercise for your left hand. Endurance on the first place, and of course independence and strength on the finger are also here very well presented. I just show you how it works. You do it very slow, so you can follow me on this course. Just like a first phrase of the study. I showed it slow to you. The things you need to take care about when you do it, we prepare both fingers in the same time. So we don't play third first, that's second. Yeah. So when you have two notes to play here on the fretboard, please put them in the same time. So we also work on preparation, independence, and all these wonderful things we will need by playing Barre. Great exercise. Starting slow, you can speed up, and then it will be even harder, even more difficult, but very effective for the left hand. Comment, we are all too busy exercising to have questions. That is good. Now I'm a bit more relaxed. I thought you gone because there are too many exercises, but that is really nice to hear that that you try to do it. Perfect, very good. So if there will be any questions, just let me know. Very nice. We continue and we go now to stretching. Stretching. I don't get tired to repeat chromatic exercises. They are useful for everything, for strength, for independence, for endurance, okay, maybe less. But now for the stretching. Why stretching and chromatic exercises? You can say they are very easy. What can I practice there? The clue, the very small but super important detail is when you practice chromatic exercise, simple chromatic exercise, but if you take care each time about placing of your finger, of each of your finger, second, especially third, very important, fourth finger, here in a more beginning positions. If you really always do the 100% of not possible, but of the necessary, then you will be already ready for the main chords, bar chords, and for the main stretchings. The most of the bar chords, I don't know, maybe 95%, 90% of the bar chords, they are looking like that, or like that, or like that. It comes, but more rare that we really need to stretch our finger and to have one fret in between, yeah, or to do like that. There are more like exceptions, but the most of the bar chords looks like that, and there is nothing else but just like ability of putting each finger close to the fret. Very, very important thing that you need to do from your first time and forever. Always, each time when you play chromatic exercise, always take care about that. Okay. Next thing, stretching exercise as stretching exercise. If you want to do more difficult things, if you want to practice stretchings over several frets, how we can do it? We start again here in the 9th position. I like to start on the 1st string, but of course you can do it on all other strings. It works perfectly. We take first pair 1 and 2, and we will do the very, very simple 1, 2, 3, 4 exercise, and you will always keep one fret in between them, and you will take care that the next finger, the first finger, stays on its fret, and the next one is as close as possible to the next one. So I will show you how it looks. We start with the first finger, stretch, and put others usually, normally. We move, we move, we continue to move, and we always keep this hole between first and second finger, and as more far away we go to the first fret, as more difficult it becomes, and as more we need to take care of that, we keep each finger at its own fret. So take care that your first finger doesn't roll down or your second finger roll to the direction of the first finger. So that is what we need to take care of. That can happen, that may happen, that when you start to do this exercise that you manage to go only to the 7th fret. That's fine. Don't force yourself too much. Start very, very careful. It's better. We need to do each repetition perfect. Because of that, you will have your day limits or weeks limit. For example, today you go only till 7th fret, and when you go to the 6th one, it sounds like mess. Stop, that's fine. Repeat it tomorrow. Repeat it tomorrow to the 7th fret. Do it again. The day after tomorrow, do it again. Maybe then you will feel, it's actually getting easier. Then try to do the 6th. No? Maybe that will not be so impossible as 2 days before. Our goal is to push our muscle to development, but don't do it too hard or too fast, because in that way we can damage them, and that is not our goal. So try to practice it in the way each time when you sit down and do it, go to your real limit. What is real limit? It's the last fret, in this case, last position, where you can play it perfectly. Not half good, half not good, but all of the notes, all of the fingers are perfectly on their place. That is your real limit for today, 3rd of May 2020. When you will do it regularly, tomorrow, maybe you will have the same limit. Maybe tomorrow you will be able to do it already in the 6th fret. Fine, perfect. Keep it. You don't need to add each day 2 new frets, 2 new positions, or to hit new records. That's not. Give your muscles time to develop themselves, and do it very, very regularly. Then it will help a lot. Only first pair. The second pair would be, we come back to the 9th position and we do 1, 2, then 1 fret empty, 3, 4. We move 1, 2, 1 empty, 3, 4. 1, 2, empty, 3, 4. Now we practice stretching between these 2 fingers. One of the most hardest pairs, and no wonder if you will just be able to do 1 fret. That is fine. Don't be disappointed. just accept it and start on working to move and to go more to the first position. And of course, the last pair, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, hold 4. All fingers should stay at their places, yeah? So don't let them move or roll to the next finger. Also, important warning about this exercise, the same as independence exercise. Never start to work with this exercise. You need to be warmed up. That could damage your muscles. Take it very, very serious. So at least 10, better 15 minutes for this exercise before you start to do this exercise, that your left hand is good prepared. First, notice. Second one, if you feel pain, I don't mean the pain, the soft one where you feel just, okay, I feel the stretching or the muscles just get tired. No, I mean sometimes it started to just like, blitz. How do you call the blitz in flash? Like a flash, thank you. Like a flash, something very quick that goes through your arm. Be very careful, stop immediately, shake, relax your hand, and maybe try it once again after a while. If you feel flash once again, just stop it for today. Maybe you're not very well warmed up or just a bit too early to start with this exercise for you. It's a bit more advanced thing than the usual chromatic things, so be careful, but it's also a very useful one. Just check, okay. Stretching. I knew that we have just too much stuff for today, but I think we will manage it. The last point of the blocks I were talking about, it comes extra, Barre exercises. You see, I put it especially at the end of all exercises. We didn't start with it. Why? Because Barre exercises is just a very, very small part of the exercises you will need to be able to play bar perfectly. Sounds really, really strange, but it is like that. Of course, if you want to practice directly bar, and bar as a putting of the first finger straight and have enough weight on it, then these exercises would make sense. Yeah, for being able to play good chords, real chords and real pieces, you will need all the things I talked about before. So, bar. I have some exercises for you in the drive. If you can open the page with the Barre Übungen, Barre exercises, Keppel. I have no idea which I think 186 was it. 186 Barre exercises, Keppel. They came a bit later today, so if you downloaded it today somewhere in the midday, this exercise wasn't there, so take a look again. It should be there right now. So we can open it. We see the very, very first exercise, number 20, if you see the full page. First kind of exercise, we go in the fifth position. We put our first finger absolutely stretched and straight on over all 6 strings, and in this way that would be great. We have today even second camera, so we can switch it right now. The second camera for the left hand, so you will be able to see my hand better. And we will need both the camera and the scores at the same time, so you can follow me and see how I do it. I try to drink once again. Okay, I think you can see me there. So, fifth position, we put our first finger over all 6 strings, and what we started to do, we go from the E string, from the sixth string to the first string, and we move each time our finger. So we make our bar smaller and smaller, and then when we go back, we make it bigger again. So take a look. We started with the sixth string. That is how it looks. When we talk about Barre exercises, I talked already about that shortly last Sunday during the live lesson on YouTube. It's good to start with these interval exercises, yeah, so that you don't put your hand and keep it for the very whole for the whole time, but you just press and then you release, press, release, press, release. It's a very nice, very friendly way of developing of your muscles. So do it very slow, control your hand, and as we talked last Sunday, you need to take care that your whole finger is absolutely straight, yeah, so you don't do it like that. This kind of barre wouldn't sound very nice. Take care also about these joints, yeah, so they are stretched, and you move with the whole finger down, going down and up, and you don't press only here from the finger, but you use the weight of the whole hand. Yeah? If you take a look now in both of the pictures, the big one and a smaller one, you will see that how would look if we just use the strength of our finger, of the first finger and thumb. It would look very stiff, and in reality we use the weight of the hand, of the whole hand going down. Try to imagine that somebody is sitting here at your arm and it pulls it down. It's very heavy, and you can do it. First exercise. The second exercise, what we will need, you can keep it. We don't need to switch yet. We play the same notes, but we will not move our first finger now. You will keep each time the full bar. So it looks like. Same exercise, but in a bit different way. In this way, we practice to press well with each part of the finger when it's completely straight. Now we go to the next exercise. You have it at your paper number 22, the same paper, just exercise number 22. And here we will practice the magic word power shift. Something very important that you really need for a successful good bar. We will play some kind of a wave here with the right hand, going from the deep E string to the high E and back, and our left hand will tricks. When you play the sixth string, you press perfectly only at the point where your first finger meets the sixth string. The rest of the finger, starting from the fifth string, should be relaxed. So you see it here in the scores. It's written like crosses. Why crosses? Because this note shouldn't sound. So the result will be. We need to have a perfect, good sounding sixth string. Nothing. That's already too much. That is good. Fourth, third, second, first. So only one string should be fine. You can repeat it several times, and you really need to feel here you press, and there the finger is absolutely relaxed. Now we will press 2 strings, 6 and 5th. So it would mean that your first finger might be a bit more flat here in the small phalanx. No? So it will sound. Good, good. Not good. Good, good. The next exercise, you cannot see it here on the screen, but you see it on the paper. Then we just say with this one, I take the next measure, and now we will press 3 strings, 4 strings, 5 strings, and all 6 strings. It's quite a difficult exercise. I would recommend you, after several repetitions, when you work, for example, on the 6th string, take your hand off, shake it, relax it, so you shouldn't feel too much pain in the finger. With the time, you will learn how to control this power and how to send it to the right spot of the finger. Very important ability, very, very important tool that we use a lot in the real chords when we play them in the pieces. You will see it right now when we will go to the concrete spots in the pieces that you send to me, your questions. You will see I will talk a lot about this power shifting and press here, relax there. Now please press here and relax here in the middle. There is a lot to do there. Okay, we are so far with my part of exercises. As I said, it's just a very short part of exercises that you can do for the beginners and a bit more advanced players, and but there are just huge amount behind the stuff. So we'll go now to the concrete pieces. I asked you if you have any questions, if you have any chords you struggle with, and you send some of them to me. That is great. We will work on them right now. Let us start first with a question from Daniel. We need now Giuliani variations at Handel's Harmonious Black Mass, variation number 2. You have it also. Exactly, that is how it looks. The whole variation. No, it's just the particular measure that Daniel asked about, that you see on the screen, because otherwise that would be too long. The full version of this variation you can see when you download it or when you open it from the drive. So we need variation number 2, measure number 3, or the measure that you see here on the screen. The question was about this bar chord, and particularly about the A. Now we will also need another camera, so you can take a closer look on how to play this chord, what you need to do in your left hand. So we have now both pictures, so that is perfect. So third measure of the second variation, we have F sharp, A and D, everything in the second position. The problem was this A, something very typical. First of all, important, I know Daniel wrote it's not the case, but just for everybody else, take care that the third string is not in the folder of your finger. Very important. That could be a reason why it doesn't sound well. If it's not the case, if the position is perfect and it still doesn't sound very good, what you can do to make it better? In this case, when we have on the second finger, you can help yourself by turning your finger, your hand, to the left. Take a look. It's much harder to keep this chord perfect when you press like that, and it's easier to do it, particularly this third G string, this A, the note A. It will be easier to press it if you will turn it to the left. And we can do it here because we don't use third and fourth finger. So they're free, we can turn. It will give you some kind of a power kick because you will be here on this, on the bony side. First tip and second tip, very important at this particular place. Take a look, we come here from then we go into the chord. I do once again the transition so you can see it better. In the moment when my second finger slides, I stretch the bar, stretch my first finger, turn it to the left, my hand, and take a look what my whole apparatus is doing, what my arm is doing. Now once again. And now attention. I use the weight of the arm, of my shoulder, partly of my shoulder, just to press this chord down, hold it for 3 notes, and immediately after I'm ready with the last D, I relax the hand. It's very, very important to switch between tension, weight, and release and relaxation. These 2 points could help you to achieve a good result. So turn and press with the whole arm for 3 notes and then relax. Should work. The next question that we had, I just go further. There are just too many scores that we actually don't need right now. 1 second. We should go now to Leo Brouwer, to On dia de novembre. It was the question from Hillary. And when we talk about On dia de novembre, what is the most difficult chord there? Right, the measure part. It's really a very, very heavy one. One of the most difficult, not the most, but one of the most difficult barre chords that I ever met. And the piece is actually not such a super advanced piece. So we are talking about this chord. You can see it here in the first and second measure. The difficulty is difficulties are the bar over 6 strings, complete bar. First thing, second thing, stretching, and quite not really nice stretching here with the fourth finger, and in addition stretching between third and fourth finger and third and first finger, double stretching or triple stretching, really difficult. So to be able to get this chord and to play it good, what do we need? Exercises. Not only practicing this chord, but practice chromatic exercises, stretching, especially here stretchings, and some of the independence things would be very helpful. If we talk exactly about this chord, what helps a bit, anyway, we cannot get this chord when we keep our right posture. So what helps, usually when I go to this part, maybe it works if you have really long arms and if you're higher, maybe that could work. I'm not such a big girl and I don't have big hands. So usually I go a bit more down with my shoulder, only for this chord, not for the whole time. That allows me to have a better angle here in the hand, in the wrist. Important thing, if you will try to do it like that, you see, you get a very, I try to show it, extreme angle. And because of this angle, you cannot press really well with the bar, with the first finger. If you go more down, you see my hand instead of being like that, the angle gets smaller. No, it's not so extreme, it's a bit more relaxed. Because of this short, smaller relaxation, it's not relaxation, but it's less under tension. Because of that, you are able to press more with the finger. First thing, go down. Second thing, try to turn your first finger a bit also to the side, so you will be able to press here these high strings better. No, don't do it like that. Turn it a bit to the left. Another thing is, we need the weight of the whole shoulder and arm when you play this chord. So you play the first note, you hold the bar, but your finger is a bit relaxed. You see, I don't press and from the beginning. I hold it there, and only in the moment where I start to play the bass, I go with my whole weight in the arm, from the arm on the finger, and I pull the hand down. The chord is super difficult. Because of that, we need here everything what we can take from our strength. So we go down, and we play after the bass, we play the G string, B, G, and then at the end D string. Exactly how we do these strings, how we play these strings, exactly at this moment I send more power to this particular spot. What does it mean? I don't press here where my fifth string is, or I don't press the first string. We don't need it. It's under the fourth finger. I press in this particular place and I send all my power, all my strength there. And then necessary, very, very important, after you're ready, you play the open bass. Please release complete the tension here. Your hand should be absolutely free. Even if we need another bar right now, this very short moment is incredibly important. After hard barre chords, full relaxation, and only then you continue with the second bar. The combination of to give 120% and to relax is incredibly important. Otherwise, if you cannot do it, your hand gets tired very quick, and after 2 measures you are done. So there is still a lot to do in this piece. Because of that, find the places where you can relax the hand. It's one of the most important things when we talk about playing chords in pieces. I will repeat it again and again, also at other examples. Tension, relaxation. If you will ask me, do I have enough time to relax? Actually, I need to continue. Yes, you have enough time. It's just a super short thing if you do it not for the first time. When you practice it for the first time, do it very slow. You press, you push your hand, you pull your hand down. And when you play the open D, make a stop and check if you have already relaxed your thumb and first finger, if they're completely released. Only after that continue. Later with the time, it will be enough. Without any break, without any stop, you will have enough time to relax your hand during playing. It's just the question of practicing, but it saves you a lot of power, and it will make the piece sound very nice. So we continue to go. Spanish Romance, I will take a look later if we have enough time. So we go now to Grand Vals. Grand Vals by Tariga, and that was the question from Mark. So you can open this chorus. This part, no? It's actually on your page 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth line, the measure part. Fourth line, bar on the second position. I think you have even, no, you have fourth line and fifth line. That's fine. It's a hard chord. It's really, 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 really difficult spot. Very difficult one. We need here a lot of endurance. So it's not for the beginners, and but there are some things that could help you to make it better. I just show it short how it looks. Maybe you can already follow my left hand. You can see it. Oh, sorry. So the question was actually about this part. I would start from the beginning. So how we can go through without killing our hand. First of all, about the fingering, I would jump here in the beginning with the third finger. So in the first chord, where we have the F sharp on the D string, I will play it with the third finger. And then in the next measure, I would take the same third finger down on the B. First suggestion. Second suggestion, I would keep the whole bar from the very beginning, from the first chord. It will keep your hand more calm. Behind this, what can we do else? When you press with the bar, it's a very long part where we need to keep the bar. We don't have free chords where we can relax the hand. Because of that, we need to see where we can release the tension, how we can minimize it. So in this case, if you take a look on the scores and the notes, you will see that we need this B, so the fifth string need to be pressed well. And what else? The first string. So it doesn't matter how hard you press here in the middle, it doesn't bring anything. It's just a wasting of your power and a wasting of your endurance. So save it. Press here, send the strings and the pressure to the fifth string, and here, if you take a look from a side, not that how it would look if I would press with the whole finger, all 6 strings perfectly, and then how it looks. You see my finger get more curved. No? It's not so completely straight like when you would need all the strings, but it's a bit curved because the pressure is here and there and there. You see, there is nothing on the third string. So that is how we can save the power from the very beginning. After that, here also take care this chord. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4th measure. Pressure on the 6th string, pressure on the 2nd string, no pressure in the middle. At least when you play this double note, C sharp and F sharp. Then stretching, when you make stretching, relax your whole finger. You see, it's already off. There is nothing, no pressure at all. The only thing I do is stretch my 4th finger for the G sharp and use this time to release a bit of tension in my hand before it will be continued. Here, for example, this chord, it's one. It will be 2nd measure in the 2nd line. During this trill, no pressure at high strings and full concentration here on the middle of the finger. So I need to relax a bit. That is what is very, very helpful. Beside this, when you go from here to there, this is transition 1, 2, 3, 4, from 4th measure of 2nd line to the 5th measure of second line, where we go to the fourth position, when we jump from second to fourth position. One important trick that you need to practice, but it will save a lot of a lot of your muscles. After this B major chord, when we move to the fourth position, relax your left hand. Super important. So I make this transition, and when I take the fingers off, I use this time to completely relax my thumb and first finger particularly. You will see it now in my wrist, in my hand. Here is tension, and you see when I move, it's free. I can turn it from the back side. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see my thumb? I hope. I take it away for a while. It helps to relax. You still have a contact with the fretboard. You will not lose it, don't worry. But you relax this hand, and to give yourself just a short breath before you play the next two bar chords, and after that you can release again. One thing I want you to remember: if you have a difficult bar part in a piece, and you see it's not just like peanuts, it's hard, look for anything that could make it easier. We need to look. It doesn't matter to say, oh, it's just the first line, so I have a lot of power, I'm fresh, so I will give 120%. It will be for sure not your last bar in this piece, and if you waste so much power in the beginning, after 1/3 you will not be able to continue to play, or you will not be able to keep the good quality. So if you see hard chord, try to minimize the difficulty, the tension in the hand as possible. How we do it? Check which strings you need really to press and which you don't need. If you don't need, save this power for you. Relax. Use each single transition, especially when you have position changes. It's a perfect space to relax your hand, because we move. When we move, it's a good time to relax your hand. It's very short, but it's very helpful if you do it, if you really send the signal from your head to your hand, relax. Secondly, and third, in this case, we can also muggle. If all these tips don't really help you, and it's still a difficult part, there is one muggle tip that you can add, especially in the first chord. If you need to use less tension, if you want to press less with your first finger, put your second finger on it. Please don't tell anybody that I show it to you, because it's actually something that is not right. And please, if you want to play any exam, or if you want to participate in any classical guitar competition, don't do it. You will fall down. It's no go. But if we just talk about making music and enjoying it, and if we need to choose, do it correct but with a bad result, or do it less correct but with a good result, I would choose the second one. So in this case, only in this case, no? So put your second finger on the first one and help to press. It's just like a second couple. You will notice that it's even easier to hang with the arm now when you do like that. You can hang also with the arm if you don't use your second finger, but if you put the second finger, it gives extra power kick. So it works when you don't need your second finger. So like in the beginning, for the first two chords you could keep it, then you would need to use the second finger. Just a small tip from me here. Okay, almost last. We go now further to another question from another Mark. to the step by step. I thought I have this here, but do I have it? Yes, I have it. So we need Fortea, Daniel Fortea. The score is by Fortea. Cantabile Estudio Poetico. From Miguel, I don't have enough fingers in my left hand for that. If second finger is not enough, you can still use your nose, and if it doesn't help, use the hand of your partner, and that should be enough then. That should work. So, Daniel Fortea, the question was, do we have the scores? Yes, we have them, and we have the right space there. Measure 13, 14, and then till 19. What do we have there? The place we are talking about. The question was how to hold on through this long part and how to manage it better. In a difference to grand vals, that was hardcore, this part is not so difficult if you use some tips, if you keep in mind several things. First of all, we don't have here the full bars. Good news. When we start to play, the most of the pressure goes, of course, here on the first string, first string, mostly. So you feel the pressure here, exactly. After the first measure, attention, we have a slide. And we learned already what do we do when we have a position change? Right, we relax. So, when you slide with the fourth finger, please relax your first finger, your thumb. Feel really, really free. Here you have the weight of your hand. Here you have the tension. This part of the hand that will be under tension for a longer time should be relaxed now. So then we arrived in the 10th position. You don't need to put the full bar immediately. It's cantabile, it's poetico. You have time, you can enjoy it. Perfect, you have more time for relaxation. So you play the E, and only then you can put the bar. So don't do. It's absolutely not necessary. It just will kill your hand. So first play the E, then put the bar. The next thing, this chord requires a bit more pressure, more tension, more strength. And we use, once again, when we have big chords, big bar chords, we need a lot of power. Use your arm for a short time. It's not so long. Just pull the hand down. And once again, it doesn't bring so much if you press here with this joint, the fourth string. You don't play it. So check which strings do you really need playing this bar and press only at this point. So this bar is our next measure. Amazing, we have a free bass and it's alone. Use this time to relax your hand. So that's the chord we come from. Then you play the bass, and during you make a transition, this position change, you relax your hand and very comfortable you put a small bar. The same when we have the transition, we relax it. There is written 7th position, I don't know why. The same 10th. We have once again the change, position change. We relax again the hand, then we pull the hand to the floor. Then we go in the 5th position, and the same, you can actually put first the 4th finger and then to put the bar. You don't need to put all the fingers immediately. In this case, no, you have enough time to do it very relaxed. So first the B and then the chord. Then when we change to the C, you can relax. You need to relax the first finger again. Then you can play once again B alone and then comes chord. Then again B alone. I will play now this part together a bit faster, like in end tempo, and you will see that you still have time to put your first finger lay down. So once again from the beginning. Absolutely last thing for today. Victoria sent it to me. We got to prepare it. It was very short before, but we got it. But it will be the last thing for today from my side. If you have any questions, yes. So Capriccio Arabe. We need now Capriccio Arabe. I put it also very late before the masterclass. But you have it in your drive. The part, yes, we have right part. The question was, the question from Victoria was, at what time I press all the bar of 5 strings, and at what point I press only with the 4 strings, and when I come back, so the exact position of the first finger. I start with the finger over 4 strings, bar over 4 strings. I still keep it like that. Then in the second half I move my first finger to the 5th string. Then I go down, keeping the pressure on my melodical note, keeping it here. I move my finger to the 4th string. Why I do it? Just to have more power in the necessary spot and don't waste it on unnecessary strings. So I do it once again. Over 4 strings, now 5 strings, 4, 4, and now attention. The next question was how I do here. Victoria, I have absolutely another fingering. Take a look. I change. I don't stay in this position. I go with my second finger to the E. It might be not so really relaxing, but I solve the problem. I solve the problem of this bass playing E and then open A. If you stay here, if you stay in the same position, you need to press over 5 strings, and then we have a problem. This lifting of the top of the first finger, it felt so odd to me. I didn't want to do it, so because of that, I switched to another fingering. I show it once again. Then I move with the second. And then I don't have any barre at all. It's just a first insight to you, because you asked. If you want to see more details, we can discuss it at our next lesson. But I think most of the things I have answered now. So, my dears, I'm so far with my program, and I'm only 6 minutes too late. in a difference what we have planned. Do you have any questions to me right now about what you have seen today? It has been quite a lot and very intensive. I hope a lot that you could follow me quite well. If you missed several parts, if they were probably not so clear, or if they were too fast, you will have now, after we finish, a possibility to check it once again with the full time, rewatch it several times, to check once again the scores, the fingering, the cameras, different. I hope that I could help you in any way, that I could give you many inputs. And once again, if we talk about Barre, it's a very complex technique, and it's really pity to concentrate everything only at Barre. And the most important thing, if you will do only Barre exercises, it will not help you in reality, in real pieces. You will have struggles, and you will struggle, because there is independence, endurance and strength and stretching and whatever else. But having it in your mind and keep on practicing it directly in the different directions, you will be able to solve the most problems that we have playing Barre. So I just check if there is something new from you. Yes, Pedro already ordered the Classical Guitar Bible from Amazon. That is great. It's really my table book. It's already always here, and there are many exercises. I have chosen several of them for you today, just to show with what kind of exercises could be helpful. And there you will find many modifications, variations that are also very helpful. So I would like to thank at this point to my wonderful operator and technical support who was the whole time here behind the scenes. Evgeny, no, Ellen, you wasn't right, wasn't Maya. And Evgeny was here. Thank you very much for all the technical support, and especially that you didn't eat the chocolate during Masterclass. I think it was the most difficult part. So maybe I will have a bit of it right now after we finish. I also would like to thank to our parents that are right now sitting with Maya and holding her away from the camera and all the live stream stuff. I think there is one question you may have, Pedro. One question you may have covered earlier, but I missed it. What would be the sequence of warming exercises you recommend? Warming exercise, all kinds of chromatical exercises. You will see it in the beginning of recording of our session today. You will also find these warm-up exercises at Ask Tatyana warm-up, first part. And you will see all these exercises at my each practicing session. I start with them. So take a look. There are a lot of things regarding this. And also today I told already a lot about that. So just check your comments. Okay, that is great. Yes, thank you for everybody who took part today. Thank you very much who joined us. I hope you enjoyed it a lot, and I wish you all a wonderful Sunday, great practicings, a lot of success in this hard technique and topic. And thank you once again very much for supporting us. It means a lot to us. It helps us a lot, especially in these hard times without concerts. So you keep our back really free, and we know that our next apartment bill or food bill could be paid, and that is very important for us. Thank you very much. I enjoyed a lot this masterclass. I enjoyed having you here, and looking so much for the next one. For sure, as next would come some practicing live. The date I will announce later. And for now, I wish you a wonderful Sunday. Enjoy the weather, enjoy this day, enjoy music, and thank you very much for being with us. Bye bye. See you next time.